Good afternoon, everyone. I know it's hard to believe even for me. I used to be a good soccer player, but nobody can see that now. So anyway, I'm given one of the most difficult jobs now to keep you all awake after the lunch, right? So let me try to do my best now. So anyway, multiparticulates and the modified release, the two why is it going so fast? Excuse me, okay. Multiparticulates and modified release systems, two important paradigms in the pharmaceutical industry. So as part of today's discussion, I'm going to just walk you through a little bit of what is multiparticulate, how it is different, how it can be leveraged into modified release systems to really make the patient-centric solutions so that you can have a really good acceptance and adherence of the formulations, basically. So that's the kind of idea. So without further ado, I will move on to just introducing Adare, for those who don't know Adare much, okay? So Adare is a technology-driven global CDMO that's focusing on specialized dosage forms, focusing mainly on the solid oral dosage formats. Adare has a wide variety of spectrum of services. On the one end, traditional, conventional technologies and process strains, all kind of tablets, capsules, and of course, all kind of solid orals. On the other end of the spectrum, Adare is very well known and pioneered as a technology platform company, basically providing a patient-centric specialty solutions. So that's one of our differentiation. So. Again, some of you may know Adare as Adare Pharma Solutions, some of you may not, but we are like a company which has a very, very long legacy in the pharmaceutical industry. We started as a European R&D pharma in 1984. As of now, almost 40 plus years of experience, deep experience in terms of platform technology and innovative products development. So this is what we are now. So along the course of 40 years, we have about almost 70 commercial products, a lot of therapeutic areas, various regulatory pathways, and really differentiated products. And currently we have 7 manufacturing facilities, 5 in United States and 2 in Italy, basically in Europe. So overall, global connectivity, I would say. And one of the important things I want to really emphasize here is our client satisfaction score, basically. So that's 96, and as of this year, it's 98%, which is really, really hard at this pharmaceutical industry. So that's another differentiation, I would say. On the other side, based on the services, we offer really a customer-centric services. On the product line, it's most about patient-centric products, basically, and technologies. So as far as the services, as I said, we have a wide variety of spectrum. On the one end, we have design, development, clinical supplies, and then commercial supplies, including manufacturing. That's one kind of integrated services for all kind of solid oral solutions. Again, any kind of tablet, capsules, or modified release, you name it, Adare has the ability and capability to do that with a great expertise. On the other end of the spectrum, though, what differentiates Adare is our specialized technologies, our platform technologies. That's proprietary as well as non-proprietary technologies and know-hows that we use to give the customers and patients basically different kind of patient-centric solutions, focusing on taste masking solutions for pediatric and geriatric patients, and then modified release solutions to make the convenient of dosing or reducing the frequency of dosing and then fixed dose combinations, making the number of pills, reduced number of pills, especially for polypharmacy kind of situation. So fixed dose combination is another one of our service offerings. And essentially, the last one would be easy to swallow formats. So to make any product really patient, convenient, accepted, and adhere, you need to make it really convenient, and you have to make it flexible and also accurate dosing. So that's where our easy to swallow formats comes in. You can make a taste matched product with modified release profile, and you can add like 2 or more drugs into it, but at the end of the day, if you could provide that as a form of easy-to-swallow formats, that would be really, really accepted by every individual. That's, whether it be like pediatrics or geriatrics, even adults would love to have that easy and convenient dosing option. So anyway, take-home message, Adare has got you covered in terms of like conventional as well as differentiated special dosage formats. So with that said, let's move on to multiparticulates. So I know that earlier session, Ms. Gandhi covered a little bit of the particular. I don't want to like say the same thing back. So, but I want to give you like real differentiation of what monolithic versus multiparticulate. There is kind of functionality and like a few differences. I want to focus on that thing. So monolithic, we all know that it's just a bar of chocolate, like Snickers or whatsoever. It's a single block of dosage form, and just when you take it after administration, it disintegrates, disperses into particles. Okay, that's the key, disperse and into particles. But when it comes to multiparticulate, they are not like junk, or like, imagine that as kind of a like M&Ms or something. Each are individual functional units. It can be different function, maybe modify release or whatever the release profile. But each discrete unit has its own functioning element associated to that. And most importantly, in the formulation, the integrity of the function unit has to be maintained, because if you can't maintain the integrity of the particulates, there is no point of making them to start with, kind of. So it kills the purpose, basically. So that's the second thing. Third thing, when the dosage format is taken or administered in the body, it of course maybe disintegrate, then it might disperse, but disperse into particulates, not as particles. The particulates are kept, or like the integrity is maintained until they turn into, until they get its function done, kind of, let's say that, put it that way. So it's that particulate versus the particles. So most of the times, the monolithic formulations, it's combined together, still the particles, it's not like agglomerates. But in the multiparticulate system, each unit is kind of agglomerates, functional units, integrity has to be maintained until the job gets done. So that's kind of like, I would say, like very primary, but very essential key differentiation between the monolithic and multiparticulate. Oftentimes we confuse with granules. Of course, granules is almost, it's a particle, it's agglomerates, but each individual is not like discrete units, not with functionality associated with it. But when you take it and code it for test masking or modified release coding, then it achieves the purpose of like functionality. Once it has the functionality, that particular granule can be called as a multiparticulate. So what are the different kinds of multiparticulates? Again, so it can be like pellets, granules, beads, microsphere, microcapsules, mini tabs. There are so many kinds of multiparticulates you can make. So the rule of thumb, okay, anything less than 4 millimeter. Now as the technology advances more and more, we have seen 10 micrometer, 10, 20 micrometer microspheres. Even Adare has that kind of technology, what we call as an optimum technology. By the way, so anything less than 4 millimeter, individual discrete units, functionality is there, that's multiparticulate, right? And as my previous presenter said, it offers a lot of advantages, like PK, as far as the PK stability or like reduced side effect, so many good things about like physicokinetic and pharmacodynamic related. But I want to focus on the customer-centric or customer-related benefits that brings to the table, basically. So number one would be flexible dosing, that is dose flexibility. When you talk about the dose flexibility, oftentimes the go-to or the gold standard or the like choice of formulation is always the liquids, because it's easy to measure and very flexible and also easy to swallow. So nobody could beat it, right? So even though the solid oral products are like having a lot of benefits in terms of stability, okay? No preservatives, no like solvents, so many good things about the solid orals, the lack of flexibility, dose flexibility is always kind kind of a pain point for that. So that's where this multiparticulates really comes in and really takes that advantage from the liquid formulations, basically. So with being the discrete units, okay, you can really like flex the dose, basically, whether for titration or for pediatric, age-based, weight-based, that's very possible. That's one of the great advantages of the multiparticulates. The next one is dose convenience. Again, the dose convenience could be, okay, palatable dosing, basically make it palatable, which is like really bitter drug or unpleasant drugs. Then you can reduce the number of doses, basically reducing the frequency, make it more convenient. Or it can be reducing the number of pills, okay? Instead of like 3 pills a time, you can reduce into 1, or even multiple drugs into 1. So anything like you want to make it as convenient dosing, and easiest way is, and the best way is to make it easy to swallow formats. So since these multiparticulates are small discrete units, you can embed them into various different easy to swallow formats, like orally disintegrating format. It may be a tablet, or it may be chewable. It may be sprinkled on soft food or soft drinks. So many kind of things you can really offer to make it as a convenient dosing format. And of course, this is a solid oral format, and dose accuracy is really good, another benefit of this thing, right? And as I said just earlier, the release modulation is the key. For monolithic format, the maximum you can create maybe like for monolayer tablet, right? You can just make one release. For bilayer, maybe like 2 release. But if you want to achieve really a very complex and comprehensive release profile, pharmacokinetic profile, for your drug, okay, 1 or more drug, let's say that, then the multiparticulate is the key. So you can have different populations tailored to different kind of a modified release profile. You put them together in a dosage format, easy to swallow format. For example, a ODT format or a sprinkle, you got everything built in one, right? That's the beauty of the multiparticulates. And finally, as I said, fixed dose combination. Again, 2 or more drugs, you can have different population, beads, granules based on the target product profile. You can combine them together into one dose format. So if you put it all together from the patient perspective, the multiparticulates offers, of course, convenient dosing, flexible dosing, and accurate dosing, and most importantly, easy to swallow formats, very, very compatible to formats, right? So that's the beauty of the multiparticulates. Really significant one and very versatile. So what this slide shows here is kind of like a multiple aspect of multiparticulates in terms of size range, what is the typical loading. I'm not going to like talk too much onto this, but everyone has its own purpose. And as I said, one shoe, never fits all, right? That's the thing. Same thing, based on your physical chemical properties, your dosing regimen, or therapeutic category, your patient population, you have to choose the right multiparticulate that can really like be used to address the pain points, basically. So that's what you see here, and we know that various process and equipment are used to create these multiparticulates, right? So one of the common thing, and most often we use like pellets, beads, mini tablets. That's like you can hear like whenever you talk about MUPS or like multiparticulate, it's always there. And knowing that what the multiparticulates and what are different kind of things, how could you really leverage the multiparticulates for customized release, right? So again, I think a little bit chopped off, but fine. So again, you take any kind of multiparticulates shown here, whether it be granule, pellet, or mini tabs, whatsoever. When I talk about modified release, anything other than immediate release, modified release, right? So it can be delayed release, maybe pH dependent release profile, or it may be extended release profile, okay, going very slow like first order kinetics, or it can be controlled release, zero order kinetics, or even better one, the pulsatile release. When I say pulsatile release, it's the release, the burst release with a predetermined lag period. So there is a lag period where there is no drug release, and then after a certain point in time, it just starts release the drug. And again, the release can be burst or can be sustained based on our need. But the idea is the pulsatile is really a great concept, especially for a chronotherapeutic drug delivery systems. That's based on the circadian rhythm, right? So we have a case study here today. I'm going to show that. But anyway, the idea is you have the multiparticulate, how you convert them into like really patient-centric solutions with modified release system. So you can take them, fluid bed, again, like there are like a beautiful fluid bed systems out there. So you can use the Ooster column to coat them based on the need, different kind of coatings. Maybe sometimes you need 2 or more different kind of coatings to really create them. Then again, when the final component would be like, are you aiming for a single dose, or it's going to be multi-dose for flexible dosing options. Again, the single dose can be very creatively, you can make like capsules that can be, again, like easy to swallow sprinkle formulations, right? Or it can be fixed dose combination to reduce the number of drugs or tablets you are taking. Similarly, tablet can be orally disintegrating tablet, or it can be like chewable tablets. All these things with embedded multiparticulates. Again, sachet and stick pack is another kind of great addition to recent advancements. So you can use these multiparticulates directly fill into like stick pack or sachet. That can be really like applied as like direct to mouth, or it can be like mixed with water as a suspension, or it can be sprinkled onto soft food. So based on the need and the population, you can really create a very beautiful, easy to swallow formulation with modified release. That too, when I say modified, imagine the most complex one, okay? You can create that with that. And again, like another like great advancement is with multiparticulates, there are beautiful and really functional dosing devices available in the market. For example, for mini tablets, there are like mini tablet dosing system. There is you can put it in the bottle, it can regulate the number of doses by dialing it, kind of things. And for pellets or like microparticles, there are like powders, which really for dispensing the multiparticulate. It's like syringing out your parenteral product, right? That's the flexible dosing kind of. Same way, you can really dispense the multiparticulates using the Symphony device. That's another oral multiparticulate dispensing syringe, basically. So there are multiple ways you can be creative, and you can really make a very functional, patient-centric solution here for modified release. And this is a kind of scenario which very well possible, and we have done in like various cases, which we will discuss later as a case study. But just imagine you have 3 different racks, okay? And based on their QTPP and like need, one could be beads, the other one could be like pellets, the final one could be like mini tabs, okay? And each one needs to be in a different kind of release profile. One may be delayed release, the one sustained, the other one could be timed pulsatile release. That is, you take the medication now, you expect it to like work after 4 hours or 6 hours while you are sleeping or you are flying somewhere, whatever the need be. So let's assume that there are 3 different things, 3 drugs, 3 release profile. You can beautifully make them using the multiparticulate. You can coat them with the polymer, and then finally you can fill them based on your need, like by weight or volume. If it's a mini tablets, you can even be more precise, filling them by counts. If you want 8 tablets, 10 tablets, you can count them and you can fill them in the capsule. All like 3 different population, you can fill that. So Adare has a great capability with this multiple population bead filling, and also counting up to 3 different mini tablet filling into 1 capsule by count. So that's another thing. So what it matters to the patient, of course, it's going to be very convenient in a lot of senses, and obviously going to increase the acceptance and adherence of the dosing regimen, basically the medication. So with that multiparticulate, the different kind of scenarios, possibilities, I would like to just give a brief discussion on Diffucaps. Diffucaps is Adare's customized release or modified release solution that essentially uses like a different kind of multiparticulates and using the fluid bed, obviously, to coat them. Right? So Ooster coding. But what differentiates us is, okay, we used to have a lot of patents on like a different kind of modified release, but we still own the patent for timed pulsatile release. That's for, again, chronotherapeutic delivery. So that's what Adare's, I would say, like specialty is, kind of thing. So how it works. So essentially it is, of course, you have either drug core or non-drug core. If it is like non-drug core, you can drug layer it using the fluid bed coding. You put a barrier code, sustained release code, then you add like timed release code, what we call it. So once you have that thing, it works like a magic bullet. Once you take it, it works perfectly. So anyway, apart from that, one of the major challenges with the modified release, especially for long duration, is like maintaining the solubility of the drug throughout the time period, 12 hours or 24 hours, especially for weekly basic or weekly acidic drugs. So Adare's Diffucaps can create a microenvironment for this drug to really modulate the drug release as well. So since the time is a little bit tight here, I'm not going to bore with the mechanism of drug release, but the idea is that once it is taken inside, it's going to be making a lot of like micropores that makes the drug move through a really like a curvaceous pathway, micropores. It's taking very long miles of way, so that's how we usually control it, basically. So again, with the Diffucaps, Adare has commercialized a lot of products, okay, real commercial products, and I want to show one of the chronotherapeutic-based commercialized product here. So in this case, is propranolol. You all know that the cardiac events like cardiac arrest, ischemia, infarction, all happens in the morning, right? So you need the drug in the morning, not at the night. But usually patients take the medication at 10, they go to sleep, and the drug keeps on delivering when you really don't need it. But the idea of the chronotherapy is you take the medication with our Diffucaps technology, we were able to deliver with a 4-hour period of lag period. So you take at 10 until 2 a.m., there is no drug release, then 2 a.m. starts releasing and achieves the maximum in the morning where the cardiac events happen. So that's the right amount of drug at the right time and really needed kind of things. So that's the chronotherapy, and this is a commercial product, like more than 2 decades back it's commercialized. So it's very, very doable, and that's Adare's expertise is. So in this case, okay, this is another drug. Okay, we converted that 3 times a day drug into like once a day using our Diffucaps technology. This is reducing the number of number of pills basically per day. That's increasing the patient compliance again. In this case, it's a cyclobenzaprine, but it's a beautiful product again. It's again a commercial product. Another one of my favorites is this ADHD drug, methylphenidate, and it's a controlled substances, and you really need to have a great control, right? Like immediate release and the sustained release for the school-going children. You cannot have the controlled substance like to go for the schools, right? So that's the idea here. We created like 2 different population of beads, 30% a year and 70%, and then we got it commercialized. And this was also made as a sprinkle on soft food for the pediatric population. So another beauty of this product. So with that said, I just want to conclude here. Multiparticulate is a versatile system. You can create really a lot of beautiful modified release solutions, that too in patient-centric format, like easy-to-swallow formats. And Adare has the great capabilities in terms of like all this kind of modified release and multiparticulates. And again, my team is here. Our bid is PJ and Luis is here with us. And please, you can visit us in the booth, and I'm here to answer any questions now. Thank you very much for the attention.
Thank you, Srini. Any quick questions for Srini before we move on? Just straight after lunch. No? Okay, thank you again, Srini.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Stop by the